Hello, everyone. This is Varsha, and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So, as you all know, in this segment of ours, we talk about the prominent achievers of our country who have made India proud in some way or the other. So, today, in the same sequence, we have with us Miss Sneha Sabu, who is an international strategist, development thinker, motivational speaker, and author. She currently lives and works in Australia. But before we actually start the conversation with her, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hi Sneha, how are you?
Hello, Varsha. I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm fine too. Thank you so very much. All right. So before we actually move into the question and answer segment, please tell us a bit about the nature of your work and also what actually triggered you to become the, international strategist, development thinker and motivational speaker at the same time.
So, I started my career in strategy and business planning with World Vision. So, I was so passionate about it that I decided to undertake additional qualifications in the space. And I ended up working for multiple organizations in corporate planning capacity. Today, I'm working for Australian government sector, and I've worked for multiple councils in a strategic planning capacity here in Australia. And it has been an exciting journey. But what changed my entire perspective was what happened in 2007. As part of my role with World Vision, I was sent to Baran district in Rajasthan. I was taken to a remote village where something really shocked me. I saw that every household had 45 children and they were not playing around. They had big tummies and big heads. They couldn't walk around. They were sitting in the verandas of the house. And this is something that shattered me. This was my encounter with hunger and poverty in our country. And I realized when our children are suffering from kwashiorkor and marasmus, my perspective for strategy and business planning need to be much more broader than what I thought it should be. So the integration of strategy and business planning with development thinking began in 2007 when I went to Baran district and saw children impacted by kwashiorkor and marasmus. That was my journey, and that's how it all started. In addition to that, now I'm into motivational speaking. What I realized is most often when we look at community well being, people look at the physical well being. I realize it's much more than that. We also need to consider mental well being of people. We all go through difficulties in life. And when we get over that, if you're able to share that with people who go through similar situation, it contributes to mental well being and overall community well being in due course. This is something that I'm doing free of cost for university students in India and not for profit organizations in India. And that's how everything is interconnected in terms of my journey. And that's a story of how I was triggered to become a strategist.
And that's something really amazing you are doing, Sneha. All right. So now moving ahead, everyone do faces some sort of challenges in their journey. So what were the challenges that you have faced in transforming the communities to make a difference?
The journey has not been easy. When you're working in different countries, the culture is very unique and distinct. Unless and until you understand the community a bit better, you cannot start the transformation conversation. I understand that the government in different countries have different policies, political strategies, and political propagandas at the same time. The communities have their own socio-economic and cultural lifestyles. And then we have the development organizations and private parties who are the funders who have a different set of interests. To bring everyone together on the same page in this journey is time consuming. And to transform communities, it's all the more time consuming at the same time. Personally, I was taken aback by other challenges too. I was taken aback by floods, by tsunamis, by military evacuation, by bomb blast, and also an earthquake. I had a situation where I was caught up in the floods with water up until the shoulder level, and I had to navigate through the flood waters where we had red flags that indicated there are pit holes that directed the water into the sea. And it shook me to understand that it is not just easy to think about the concepts in community, but we also need to think about the environment that we are living in when we are looking at strategies. I was also sitting in Philippines one fine day when I had a situation at the breakfast table. The entire building just shook. The table was literally falling down. The chair that I was sitting on was falling off, and the entire building tilted and then bounced back. It was an earthquake, and that's something that Philippines face on a regular basis. In Bangkok, I was encountered with a military evacuation during civil unrest. I'd also faced a bomb blast almost 4 kilometers from my house. And it was not easy to actually change communities when you realize communities go through a lot in this journey of transformation. And we just need to understand not just the community, but also all the dynamics involved in the environment they live in. So these are some of my challenges that I faced.
And you really have come out as a rising stars in the challenges which you have faced in your journey, I must say. All right, so now moving ahead, talking about the future, what further plans do you have? Like, are you really planning to come back to India also?
Well, India is where I belong. I spent most of my life in India. I'm really passionate about coming back to India. See, I'm in Australia now, and I have lived and worked in multiple countries as part of my role. It's more or less like a temporary stopover where I'm getting a bit of different kinds of exposure to strategy and business planning, different communities, and the way governments, communities work together to make a difference. But at the end of it, I will come back to India and I really want to contribute and give back to the Indian society more.
All right. So now, Sneha, do you have a development vision for India? So, if yes, if you can share a few more details about it with us.
Absolutely. I have a development vision for India and I'm really passionate about it. And I'm so looking forward to working with different stakeholders to make this a reality. So, in terms of my development vision for India, we need an integrated approach to planning that covers social, economic, environmental, and civic leadership issues of our country to make that difference really happen. I would like to see an India where every child has a right to free and compulsory education up until the age of 18 and they are free from child labor and abuse. I would like to see an India where women are treated with dignity and respect and they do not have to fear of anything to walk in the street at night without the fear of being molested or abused. I'm also having a passion for urban development and rural development. In terms of rural, my passion is within 20 minutes radius of every house in the village, if we have the basic amenities and the infrastructure to support jobs, many of us from the villages will not be moving to the urban areas. Urban agglomerates are the center of our economy, but we need to sustain rural as well as urban. We want the corridor of the rural and urban to be strengthened from a supply chain perspective. We need to ensure urban slums have a better lifestyle. They also have housing and all the essentials they need to have that community transformation in their lives. So that's the urban rural corridor and the supply chain and the transformation that I'm looking at. I'm also keen to see sustained medium and small businesses and a stronger economy where jobs enable a community to thrive and respond to changes in volatile environments. And we want to ensure that environment is at the heart of everything that we do. So in my vision for India, we need a greener economy, green grids, and we need to protect our environment at the same time. And we need to have a civic leadership that covers it all. As you are all aware, we are living in a changing world at a time of pandemic when businesses are closing down. We just need to build the capacity of our country to ensure we are in a position to respond well to social, economic, environmental, and civic leadership shocks that's going around across the world. That's my vision for India.
Moving ahead, though I know it's always a very proud moment when we get recognitions for our work, but still, I would love to know from you that what are your feelings on winning this International Achievers Award from Indian Achievers Award 2021?
Well, I have three emotions actually. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm thankful at the same time. I'm honored and humbled because my passion for my work in strategy and business planning and development thinking is being recognized, and I'm humbled by that. I'm really thankful to India Achievers Forum for recognizing me and giving me International Achievers Award. I'm thankful to God for sustaining me through my ups and downs and giving me this opportunity so that I'm able to work and deliver what I would like to see in terms of my life and in terms of the community around me. I'm thankful for my mother who has been ever encouraging, my husband and brother who has been support to me, and everyone who has come across my life, because when I'm having an interaction with someone, there is something that each one would contribute to, and that is actually a changing process for me. It is a molding process as a human. And above all, I represent India wherever I go. I'm called as an Indian. And I would like to submit this award as an ode of salutation to India. And I must say, Jai Hind.
And you are truly an achiever, I must say. All right, so now moving ahead, if you can share a few more details about the contribution that you are making to the society.
As you're aware, we have been hit by COVID-19 across the world. So I prepared something called pandemic prioritization metrics. So what is pandemic prioritization metrics? It is a metrics that keeps community at the forefront of decision making when we identify projects that needs to be delivered to the community. So I prepared this and presented it to state government in New South Wales in Australia, and I was asked to present this to 60 councils across New South Wales. So that was one of the recent social contribution. In addition to this, as part of my role as Associate Director for Habitat for Humanity, I was responsible for working with 18 countries in Asia and Pacific to prepare country strategies to address issues of housing and homelessness. And I was able to work with these countries to identify issues and make a difference in the life of those communities. I also represented Habitat for Humanity at the United Nations post MDG discussions at Bangkok. I've also worked with World Vision and have prepared a 500 district human development indicators catalog. This catalog had identified the socioeconomic issues and human development issues of these districts. So this catalog enabled World Vision to identify where should we be working and what are the kind of interventions we should be making in these districts. I've also participated in World Bank's strategy discussions for civil societies in 2008. I've also promoted the issues related to fishermen in Tamil Nadu at the time of tsunami. I've also directed a documentary to promote that. I've also campaigned on issues related to weavers and also the plight of street children. So these are some of my social contributions.
Lovely. So now, Sneha, I'm very keen to ask you that what actually inspires you every day to keep going?
Well, what inspires me? I really want to be a true masterpiece of myself, and that is my biggest inspiration. I'm a believer, I have faith, and I always want to look within, and I want to be a true masterpiece and a responsible ancestor that will leave a mark for the generations that will inhabit the earth in future.
Amazing. All right. So now, last but surely not the least, what message or mantra you would like to give to our younger generation to become successful in their careers?
The new generation is actually very smart. Having said that, I've only four things to tell. One, to not compare yourself with anyone in this world. You are distinct. Second, be a true masterpiece of yourself. Your journey is unique and you don't have to compare nor try to create a route similar to another. So be a true masterpiece of yourself. The third one, you're part of a broader ecosystem. It's not just that you are the only one who's living in this world, there are others too. So respect the coexistence of your fellow beings. The last and not the least, what is success? When you have a goal, you achieve it, and then you call yourself successful. So if you have a dream, all you need to do is be passionate about the dream and put your heart and soul and work hard to make that a reality. And nothing in the world will stop you from achieving what you want in your life. And that's my message for you guys.
Amazing piece of advice, I must say. All right, so thank you so very much, Sneha, for joining us today. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the good luck for all your future endeavors, and may you continue to inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Varsha, for your time and taking time to ask me these questions. It was indeed a pleasure. Thank you.